here. Hola, ¿cómo está, amigos? Got any more than macro pivots? Yeah. So yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Let's see here. Market is about to open here in a few minutes. We have 62.94 on ES. NASDAQ is about to hit this pivot. So 22.971. This is the range right here. We've got liquidity at 22.971 and we have 23,000. So far, obviously, we've been blasting off for 8 hours. Will it continue? So far, there's no sign of it stopping. Oil is coming on down to a little bit of a pivot, and it's bouncing off of it. It's the overnight pivot here at 67.79. Gold is still smack dab in the middle of their overall macro range. So you could play a couple of small pivots here at like 32.91. But overarching, I'd love to see 32.62. Silver, doing the same exact thing. They're reaching a overall support lower. So 36.48, 36.42, somewhere in that ballpark would be a great support for them. Platinum is still hanging out, kind of toying with us in this range at 1379. Look at that. NASDAQ is blasting higher. Blasting higher right into the open here. 23,000 right before the market opens. 002. What's going to happen? What is going to happen? Here's the market open right out of the gate. Let's go take a look at options data here at the open. So far, aggressively bullish. We have call buying up to 336 million and put buying down to 38 million, and that is it. But NASDAQ is absolutely launching, and they're going to squeeze it right out of the gate here. So far, we're on about an 80-point move since 9 o'clock, or 8 o'clock. Still going, 23.0012. Just absolute launching out of the gate. Out of the gate. XL Great Dane. Nice, Kennedy. I love it. So in terms of the too much too fast, I think I'm not going to jump in front of a train for sure. I love that play. It's one of my favorite momentum-based plays in the first half hour. But when the market is doing this stuff, I have to wait for signals. Otherwise, you're going to get just ran over by a runaway train. I know the past couple of weeks, it's been relentless for just momentum. So if I'm going to take that style of trade, I've got to wait for the sign that they're going to be taking a little bit of too much too fast liquidity. Because right now they've got liquidity up to 23,025. They've got 2304, and then NASDAQ is just going. ES is 6,300, and just absolutely rocket ships. That's really about it. So look, still going. ES is squeezing, NASDAQ is squeezing. 6,300 was liquidity higher. What else we have here? We have 500, 600 million in calls being added, 700 million in calls being added, just going for ES. Do futures options have theta? Options have theta. The futures contracts do not have theta. So I know the term contracts associated with futures is kind of confusing. So just be careful kind of what you're looking at. But yeah, if you're playing options on futures, it does have theta, yes. That's a panther. Love it. ES is about to fill the imbalance. Yeah. So ES is coming up, what, 63.13 or so is going to be the high, and it's still just ongoing. NASDAQ is still hovering 23.020, blew right to 23,000 liquidity like it wasn't even there, and it's still going. So, like, once again, I'm not going to touch a too much too fast play until I see the 3 criteria being met, because you're going to get just absolutely plowed through. Look at this, just going. Just going. They're going to squeeze it. Let's go take a look at some other names here. We've got PL, still not moving. Silver, bouncing back up. I mean, there's not a lot of opportunity here. You know, gold, oil has got these couple of minor pivots, 67.80 down to 67.50. You might be able to play a scalp long off of those, but I mean, there's just not a lot of pivot opportunity. Of course, 62.50 today after my call expired. That's how they do it. Look, NASDAQ still just squeezing. Look at that monster candle. Going, going, going. 623,002. We have some pivots coming up right here. Right here. Blasting. Ah, stupid morning range thing. There we go. There we go. There's no liquidity higher on the book. Zero. It's all lower after they filled this top pivot here. So now it's just how far are they going to squeeze this thing? How many hundreds of points are they going to squeeze this thing today until they pivot it? You always front run? That's okay. That's okay. All right, 2303 on NASDAQ, 6302 on ES, still straight on squeezing. All driven by calls. I'm telling you, the past 2-3 weeks, you've got to pay attention to the options data more than ever. It's just phenomenal the amount of 0DT activity that they are piling into this market. And of course, Linda Rasky, what happened yesterday is that despite the fact that we had some nice little pressure, they still bounced back up. Even if it was a very light bounce into the close, they still bounced it back up into close. Very, very small, of course, but it's still leading to this aggressive bull move where it just never, ever stops. It keeps on going. How many days have we had like this in the past 3-4 weeks? Just relentless, nonstop green, boom, 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 every single morning. Just going, going, going. Going, going, going. $63.04, higher, higher, higher. NASDAQ is about to take out 40, and they're absolutely squeezing the market. $23.04. They've already blown through every single major pivot the past 2 days. Now they're going for the weekly high of $23.103. The weekly thesis remains intact. Driven by insane 0DTE call buying. Insane 0DTE call buying. Oh. That's terrible. Oh, that's terrible. Sorry. I tried to get the last amount of coffee out of the French press, and it was grinds. And I just took the last cup of it. The last sip, and it was all grinds. Oh, that was terrible. Yeah, that's terrible. All right, so we have a very, very minor top wick. These are the days where I'm just going to hang out on the 1 minute here because I'm not even going to come close to touching a short on this position until I see signs. And like I've played this game before, man. Every single day, just launch, 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 never stop, never stops. It's just relentless. So keep myself safe. I'm going to be smart, and I'm just going to sit here on the 1 minute. And if I see a couple of top wicks form in the 1 minute, I'm going to go to the 5, confirm, and go to the 15 and confirm because this is never going to stop. Look, it's going even higher. How many times in a day? How many times in a row are they going to do this for weeks and weeks and weeks? Oh, you're on Bookmap. Sorry, let me switch over. Change stream, volume analysis. There you go. This may feel like I have to cough. Sorry, Brandon. You should do pour over. Filters out the grinds. I've never done pour over. Never done pour over. I invested a couple years ago. We bought one of those expensive coffee makers, which was fine, but the coffee was way too weak. Like, it doesn't matter what setting I put it on. It was just watered down coffee. So we just went back to the good old cheap French press. Sold that thing. And yeah, it's been great. All right. First 1 minute top wick here. Still no red close. They managed to still close the candle green. So again, I have to anticipate what they've been doing for weeks, which is just up and 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 up. That's it. Non-stop, never stopping. Look, they're about to put another high in. So once again, most likely, if they continue to do this, I'll have another no trade day. I'm not gonna participate in relentless green launch modes because there's no good entry. So I'll just sit here and watch it. Mount Hagen instant coffee is about as good as real coffee. Interesting. And up, yeah. Look at Boeing. Let's go take a look. Boeing is 226.08. Love it. Love it. I'm telling you, keep on adding Boeing. Everyone keeps counting them out. Not me. Not me. Keep on adding, baby. Keep on adding. NASDAQ just put a new high in, still going. 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours, how many, 15, 16 hours straight of buying? How much can we do it? Sometimes you need to full port and trust in bullish gods to take the promised land. Pretty much. Pretty much. Look, 20.05, it's still going. Oh, I love it. How far can we go, baby? How far can we go? Was there special news? No, I mean, this is what it's been doing for weeks now. There's absolutely zero selling in the market. The only reason the market turns down a little bit on day-to-day sessions is because of any kind of profit taking on 0DD puts, and then they re-engage into 0DD calls. That's it. There's zero selling. There's zero top wicks that holds. There's zero volume. If you go look at the volume is abysmal. So this is 100% max delta, max gamma, buy the 0DD calls and launch the market into the stratosphere every single day. That's why we are where we are. That's why we're at 6,300 on no volume. So, no, that's it. They're going to keep on going, baby. They're going to keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on going. See what we can do. 12 straight green one-minute candles. Yep. I mean, they've been doing it for weeks now, man. I mean, at this point, we can't be surprised about this, and they're going to keep on going. It's not going to stop. You can't be surprised by any of this. This is why I said this looks like too much too fast, but I cannot play that move at all until I see the signs, because they will run right over you. They'll go 200-300 points without a top wick, and keep on going. Look, another bottom wick. Keep on going. There's zero liquidity on the book higher. Zero liquidity higher. But yet they're still just rocketing. But if you look at the 0DT calls, look at the calls. 1.1 billion in calls in the first 11 minutes of the market. 1.1 billion in 0DT calls in the first 11 minutes of the market. It's crazy. It's crazy. Oh man, this is why I've been expanding to other names, because this is complete just terrible, just terrible. What would you like to see to go long? I need a good liquidity pullback. My system most of the time dictates that we have a good pullback into liquidity, bottom we can go higher. That's where the market normally works. With 0DTEs every day like this, it makes that difficult, because it just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes and never stops, never pulls back into liquidity for a good entry. So I don't like. What do I do here? Do I just chase? How do I support that decision to you all? Hey, why'd you enter, OM? It kept on going, so I just got in and chased it, and it worked out. Like, how do I defend that position? I can't. So, I sit here and pull on my pud, drink my grind coffee, and watch. Stick to your plan. Yeah. Do you have to pay to see the options chain? In my case, yes. I mean, I'm looking at Spot Gamma. Spot Gamma presents the 0DT options data for me. It's insane how many days in a row they can do this, where they just blast it off over and over and over again. It's crazy. The good news is that I have a payout coming today. So I'll put that straight into TLT, just like I've been doing. Still going. NASDAQ is straight up. Straight up. How long did it take you to pass your TPT account? 6 days. It took me. I am getting ready to add 4 more accounts, though. I'm going to add 4. Actually, I'm going to probably go ahead and do 5 more and put them on Quan Tower and get away from Trade of 8. I'll just, play the Trade of 8, but whatever. Heck, all I need is like a couple of good days of payouts with 5 accounts, and boom, I'm set. Like, that'll pay for like 2 years worth of inputs for props, if not more, depending on, how well I'm doing, of course. So, I think I'm going to do it. I convinced my close friend the other day to hop into TLT. Do it. Musical chairs with 0 DTEs. When profits come crashing down, the market makers. Yeah, probably. I use TLT in my savings account. Beautiful. That's a great thing to do, actually. You know, it's going to pay good dividends. It's going to pay you, obviously, appreciation when the market goes. But yeah, it'll be a good one. There's supposed to be 6 or more tariffs today. What's the play there? Probably 400 to 500 point blast off nonstop that never top wicks. Maybe 800 points. I don't know. Depends what Nasdaq does. Am I using 10 micros for a 150k account? I play my normal position sizing, especially for a 150 account. Of course, I didn't do 150 accounts. I did the 75s. Is anywhere between 1 to 2 micro or 1 to 2 minis. 1 to 2 minis. Hey, look, new high of the day. Off we go. So 20 micros. Yeah, but again, I'm not using micros. I'm using 1 to 2 minis. But yes, that would be the equivalent of size with those two accounts. Yep. All right, screw that. I'm not going to sit there and watch that crap. Let's go to ES. ES is coming along to 63.15. PL is coming into support. Oil bounced off of that pivot nicely. What's the best prop firm? In my opinion, Take Profit Trader has grown on me. There's pros and cons to everything, obviously. Top Step was always the one I used, but then I've tried out Take Profit, and I just like the fact that you get to do payouts every day. This is insane. Like this is stupid. I'm not touching this. Every single day it's this crap. Just sit there and watch. This is why I'm barely trading nowadays, because it's just, how do you trade this? This is so stupid. I might just go play chess. If anyone managed to get the Top Step X promo code to work, let me know. Yeah, I think I only saw one person that actually worked for. So, same thing. If anyone used it, definitely. Let's see here. Worked for me, but I never made a Top Step combine before. Yeah, there you go. Nasdaq is coming into the resistance at 23,104. Going up. Let's see. TLT is green, coming back up. Yields were very green, but they went red. They dumped back over. Nvidia becomes the first company to reach 4 trillion in market cap. So they've gone from what, like 200 million in market cap to 4 trillion in like 2 years. Oh yeah, the tariffs got moved to August, if that's what you're talking about. Yeah. RTY tapping against this ruler. That's not correct. That needs to be moved. PL is still coming off into support. Can you look at Tesla? Yeah, let's take a look at Tesla. So Tesla is 297. They're still playing with fire down here after holding the second move down into 293. So to me, the bulls are failing to defend this area. They're kind of holding barely on, barely hanging on here for dear life. But once they give that out, I'm playing down to 272, 273. So, you know, Tesla's a fantastic name to play if you like volatility. Boeing looks like it's still making a lot of move to run today. There you go. Still going. $63.12. ES is still straight up. Looking for 63.14. NASDAQ is still straight up. They're looking for 23.103. The bears are sleeping in. Yeah. See, with these levels, I don't want to short these levels as aggressively as I buy the dips. The dips are much like you got to play the macro environment. If this was a bear market, I would be more likely to front run a short off of these major pivots because it would just top wick back over. But we are in a very aggressive bottom wick, relentless green market. So I'm not going to front run even these major macro pivots at 23.1 because they're more likely to sweep them by 20, 30, 40, 50 points. And then you'll play the short once the signs prevail. So you have to just watch these pivots, take your hands off, let them do its thing. Let them do its thing. All the liquidity is lower. There's nothing higher on the book except for NASDAQ. NASDAQ has 23,100. Hero indicator, 1.5 billion in calls. So literally in the first 20 minutes of the market, they've piled into 1.6 billion in calls and 470 million in puts. Now get this. Look at how bullish this is. We have 1.6 in calls, now it's 1.7 billion. They're absolutely launching into calls here. 1.7 billion in calls, 470 million. Oh my gosh. All right, I'm back. Sorry. I'm not even going to try to fight it. I'm just going to restart the server because the stupid audio, so whatever. Discord is driving me freaking nuts. I even forgot what I was saying. 1.8 billion in calls. All right, I restarted the audio, so it should be there. Let me know when you're back on, if it works, and we'll continue the conversation. Still dead? Yeah. I can't fix that, man. It's just Discord. I'm going to have to find a new platform. Discord's freaking killing me. Killing me. How's Telegram? I see Telegram used a lot. What are these AOL Instant Messenger or something? So the difference in the market. Yesterday we had 1.6, 1.7 billion in puts purchased. We had up to 700 million, even a billion in calls sold. In insanely negative deltas. Massive amount of puts, a massive amount of calls sold, and yet the market didn't go anywhere. It stayed flat. And yet now we have 1.6 billion in calls, 300 million in sold puts, and we freaking launch because of the environment that we're in. It's because we're in such a low volume market is that the market just doesn't care. There's no selling. So boom, we just launch. That's the environment you have to play. 318 at 100 NASDAQ. No, I don't think it's spoofing. They're just going to go for it. That's the next resistance. And we're just going to wait. I'm not touching it. If you're waiting for me to chase this price action, ain't going to happen. Ain't going to happen. Gold's coming up, yeah. Silver. Platinum's coming off, just not a lot. RTY is even blasting off. YM is blasting off. I need Gaz in his "Why won't Nasdaq ever go down" YouTube video. Where's he been at? He didn't even show up yesterday. Hope he's all right. All right, we have 10-year bond auction at 1 p.m. We have FOMC minutes at 2, and that is it. Do you think you'll ever make a YouTube video on trading props? Yeah, definitely. In fact, it's in my pipeline to get it recorded. I want to give my take on it, which will be it won't do well, you know, because I approach things in a very realistic, very even-keeled manner. And the only thing that really goes viral in this environment is, look at me, look how great I am, beat my chest, I'm so amazing. And it's all BS. But I'll give my take on it. And yeah. I've been really struggling. Well, let's talk about it, Sam. I mean, you can DM me anytime, too. I mean, it may take a little bit for a respond, but I'll help you as much as I can. If I need to reopen the prop help channel, I can. But, you know, people stop using it, so I'm happy to help where I can. This is my friend getting into crypto or drugs. Do I have codes for Take Profit? I do. So I have the affiliate channel here that you can look at all the codes and stuff. But it's code OMTPT is the code for Take Profit Trader. Nice little top wick here. ES is launched. I filled 1,250 accounts now. I'd have to know more about it to help. Like what's trades you're taking, where are you taking them, position sizing, all that kind of stuff. If you're taking any more than 3 minis, then I'd probably say that you're over positioning by a large margin. Mostly over trading. Okay. I mean, I would probably say that's a main culprit as well. That's because that's the main culprit of nearly everybody. You know, I still believe that if you show me someone who's taken more than 4 to 5 trades a day, I'll show you someone who's not making money, who's losing money. That's just the way the market is, man. The sooner you learn that, the better. So, I mean, that's not just you, man. It's everyone. Like if you're taking more than a couple of trades a day, especially in this game, you either are losing money or you need to be on Wall Street. Period. So that's just the way it is. Less is more. High quality pivots. I have a whole bunch of DMs with a whole bunch of success stories of people who finally turned the corner. And that's not the coincidence. It's because I teach you all what I had to bleed to learn, which is you only trade at your high confidence zones and you trade less, period. Everything else is fugazi. It's nonsense. It's crap. You know why trading can be worse than gambling? I thought about this. Do you know why it can be worse than gambling? Because we all go into gambling knowing that it's gambling. We go into gambling knowing that the odds are stacked against us, but it's our degeneracy that wants us to keep going. With trading, you have the illusion of hope. You have the illusion that you are in control. And it causes you to keep going and going and going and going and going and going. So you have to notice that. I'd literally have to turn my computer off or I will trade way too much. Hey, do that. Do whatever you have to do to stop from overtrading. 100%. All right, finally a little top wick here, just under 23,100 on the 5-minute chart. You can now auto lockout at a certain number of trades you could set on the cap position size on top step. Nice. I think that's a good thing. How much have I made today from the markets? I haven't made anything today. I haven't taken a trade. I'm waiting. Although I did put in a request for withdrawal. So that's going straight into my IBKR and straight into TPT. Is there enough volume for 3 criteria reversal? Negative. Negative. Practicing the principles, put them into action. Definitely. So the 3 criteria is going to keep you safe in a market like this if you want to short. So right now we have a beautiful rejection on ES from Sundays and the weekly highs. This is the weekly high area, which is a nice little pivot. But again, I treat the top side pivots a lot less aggressive than the bottom side pivots. So here we are right into 63.15, top wick. But I need the 3 criteria. Still coming up. They just removed the liquidity. They did not actually fill it. So on NASDAQ, 23,100, they just, well, now they put it right back on. Now they put it back off. So they haven't really filled it yet. They're just taking on and off. So that does appear to be some sort of spoof. Now they're putting liquidity on the book on 6336 on ES. Coming up. So 3 criteria, baby. 3 criteria. Still going. I know some of y'all hate when I talk about emotions, but I cannot stress it enough that less is more. Controlling yourself. Like I could sit here and talk about technical setups all day, but it's kind of like what Doc just said. It's like he literally has to turn off his computer to keep himself from trading more. And there's a reason why. It's because literally we are our own worst enemy. Just wait for your setups. And the best way to combat that is having a strong technical setup. So create your system, you plot your levels, and you say, that's only where I'm going to enter no matter what. I don't care if this market goes up 900 points in one day. I'm not going to trade until I see exactly what my system dictates I need to see. And as long, if you could start doing stuff that's like that, quantifiable, actionable, then you can start to control those emotions. You'll have a little bit better opportunity to control those emotions. So, 63.15 liquidity. My 3 criteria still are not met. We've been straight up now since 1 o'clock this morning with no pullback. I'm sure eventually it will pull back, yeah, but until then, your options are either too long or to play the short when it does approach, or do nothing. That's the best advice given in the server. No need to pause. Oh, appreciate that. Thanks, Dan. With this sort of one-sided move, how will we know we're approaching the swing high? Well, there's 2 parts to it. There's 2 parts to approaching those moves. One, looking for the high probability area where it could do it, and then secondly is confirming with the 3 criteria. So ES just tapped the weekly high. So most likely, we're going to get some sort of top tick here, which we already are. Most of the time, I can guarantee that we're going to pivot off those areas, but I cannot guarantee how much, how far, how long we pivot off that area. That's the way I approach the market, is I look for a high probability area. If I choose to position myself in there, I will select the trade, I'll enter, and then I'll place my trailing stop. And then I'll move my trailing stop based on the structure of the market either breaking down in my direction or breaking down against my direction. And then I'll take my hands off. That's it. And if I continue to apply that theory over and over and over and over again, eventually you'll start catching more and more large trends. I think everything you're saying about the motion's proper position sizing strategy is also typical. Those same things that may be challenges too and may be common thread of beginners. It's easy to get caught up into those things as well, but there's nothing to limit position size or tell you exactly how to trade, force you to limit trades. Yep. Yep. I do not joke when I say this is the most difficult thing you will ever do. Not because trading is difficult, it's because you make it difficult. I've gone through so many accounts I would just full port to get the 50% consistency rolled and lose it all the next day. That's what they want you to do, Sam. Like, literally, that's what they want you to do. That's what Patrick Whelan wants you to do. Is they want you to use their code, sign up, and then smoke your account over and over. Why do you think they allow you to trade 15 NASDAQs? Because they want you to do that. They know that there's going to be degenerate gamblers. That's where they're getting their funding to pay out all the payouts for people who are doing it right. Is they want people to just max position size, get the 50% rule. That's why they have the 50% consistency rule. All this stuff. That's why they have all the rules. Otherwise, why don't you just create a prop firm and say no rules, no restrictions, just do whatever you got to do. Trading is already hard enough as it is, and just we take the profit split. In fact, I may do that. Maybe I'll create my own prop firm. No rules, no restrictions whatsoever. Straight to funded, 70-30 profit split. That'll be the catch. That's it. Zero rules, none. Let's do it. How do I start a prop firm? You think I do that through Trade Locker? I don't know what that is, but I'll look. So, Sam, like I said, share, like, the whole point of the server is to help each other, right? To grow. So I want you to seek out help from someone else, like find a trading buddy, or, DM me and I'll help you as much as I can. Have an accountability partner so you can keep you an accountability buddyable. Anyway, 6311 here. So if we can hold this rejection on ES, you can have the 3 criteria. In short, my opinion, I'll be honest, makes me clench a little bit to think about shorting this because of just what's been happening in the past few weeks. But if I see the 3 criteria, we'll see. Nothing else is really giving me an actionable position. The Dow is kind of here. Silver is almost down into base, not quite yet. Gold is not quite down where I want it to be. Oil is holding the overnight low, but still not really bouncing. So, there. When you say DRDTs are driving the price movement, does it apply to futures as well? Well, the whole S&P. The whole S&P is tied together. So, yes. What are the 3 criteria? If you're looking for a top wick, after a strong green trend, you need a top wick with volume. If you're looking for a rollover after a green trend, 3 criteria would be top wick with volume, close below the prior candle. Nice, Magabagouli. Well done. $63.07. So the first criteria seems to have formed top wick. Depending on the time frame, yes. Depending on the time frame, yes. So right now we have the 15-minute top wick. We're coming lower here. So it's looking okay. That's a nice little decent move. But we have to wait. Time to get more coffee without grounds. Nice. We just set a sell order under the previous low. No, because I need to see the volume. I need to see the volume to me is confidence. I'm a VPA trader. I said a couple of days ago that yes, you can trade successfully without volume, although you cannot trade successfully without price action. But volume is just simply confidence. Confidence in the price action, which doesn't happen all the time. Like the three criteria isn't ironclad. It's not going to give you all of the entries, and it's not going to keep you from losing on some entries, but it's going to give you confidence. So like right now, if they thrust this thing higher into like 63.20 and absolutely kill that candle with a massive top wick under very high volume, that's going to give me some great confidence to start shorting this thing down finally. Without volume, I don't have the big confidence that sellers are actually there, because volume tells me where the sellers are. So if there is a tremendous amount of supply sitting right here, and we touch this and we have a very large spike in volume here, that tells me that there is in fact a good amount of sell orders here, supply. Time for me to start shorting or removing my long exposure, whichever it is. Now obviously we have some supply there because we did top wick off of it a little bit, but not a lot of volume. That's where the three criteria comes into play. You're very welcome. VIX is holding, yeah. And then of course another thing is the time frames. Find the time frame that you trade the best. I do not recommend consistently trading the first half hour. The first half hour is usually momentum driven. In fact, in this environment, I find myself trading better in the afternoon session because the first craziness or the first chop session or whatever happens in the first part of the day, and the market kind of figured out what's it going to do, and I have the range to play with, the morning range to play with, and I can usually trade better than the afternoon nowadays. It's not always like that, but in this environment where things are just wonky, I trade better in the afternoon after the morning range is already set, because there's a million ways you can apply the morning range to your benefit. So you need to find and exploit the time frame that you trade the best at. In my opinion, the first half hour, most of you shouldn't be trading anything in the first half hour, other than if you want to throw on one micro or something to see what happens. Just nothing of real size in the first half hour. First 15 minutes definitely. Second 15 minutes is I've sometimes trade. First 15 minutes, it's all momentum. It's all nonsense. You can't apply VPA because it's always high volume. It's always momentum based off the overnight session. Nope. You didn't miss anything, Brendan. You're good. 63.15 on ES. So to see the 15-minute, look at the ES right here. 15-minute candles. We have no volume. We have a top wick, a nice healthy top wick, but we do not have a close. So only one of the three criteria are met here. Just the top wick. We have no volume. We have no close under the prior low. So the close under the prior low would be here. I would need a candle to close under that to tell me that sellers are ready to hit. And the reason why I came up with that theory, which I guess I call it, it's not my theory, it's just price action, whatever, is that when the market begins to accept a lower price on any time frame, whichever time frame you choose to elect, that's when the market begins to tell you, hey, we're ready to accept lower prices. There's more sellers than buyers. We're trying to go into an imbalanced market, and it's time to drop. At least a little bit. Unless it's gold, because gold doesn't have that massive volume come in. Yeah. That's definitely to ES and Nasdaq. Home Depot. What do you got going on here? $4 trillion market cap. Can we apply the three criteria on other tickers? Yeah, absolutely. Anything with volume. That's the beautiful thing about it, is that this is not specific to the S&P. This is general to the whole market. That's one of the beautiful things about VPA, is that VPA is just simply auction theory, which is anything that's traded with volume, which is everything. It's all conceptual. It's help you understanding what the market actually is, which is why I don't believe in anything else except for VPA. In my opinion, if you want my opinion, you have to have an edge to enable to make money in this market, period. The only way for you to get an edge in this market is to have something that no one else has, which is a conceptual understanding. It cannot be something you can simply print on your chart. It cannot be an indicator, because everyone has access to it. That is not an edge. It's not an edge. You have to have a complete conceptual understanding of something that you created, that you've understood, that you've conceptualized, that you've put on paper, or insider knowledge, which we'll never get. All right. How's Hero looking? 1.3 billion in calls. Let me hit refresh first. 1.3 billion in calls, 125 million in sold puts. All positive delta. All positive delta. I think I'm going to start putting just one micro NASDAQ on long every single morning from here on out and just hold it the first half hour. I'll put it on like 10 minutes before the market opens. And we'll turn into a macro bearish move. We'll sell off for the next 4 months. 5 minute is top wicking, yes. 15 minute though, we've got a doji and a red on ES. Let's look at NASDAQ. NASDAQ is doing the same. NASDAQ is pivoting off of their pivot as well. Weekly high, baby. RTY is already dumped. Palantir's, they're not moving. Nothing is really moving all that much. Gold still top wicking, you know. They've got this nice little overnight in yesterday's pivot. Done for the day. Nice mojo. What'd you take? I'm curious. What'd you play? 2 runners left in MGC. Nice. More little liquidity coming on down here. Started line of condors. Rolled long calls. Beautiful. Nice mojo. Well done, buddy. think I'm done for the day. Took payouts. Beautiful. Don't expect anything less, futures. Keep it up. 3-4 payouts a day. Keep it up, baby. Love it. Let's get together on that podcast. Iron Condors, man. It's a fantastic play. Fantastic play. All right, let's take a look at this. As soon as they approve my payout, I'll be taking it out of TPT myself. Of course, it's not, 6 figures. But do you need margin for Condors? Technically, you don't have to have a margin account to ride options, but I don't recommend it. Considering the Nasdaq 15-minute top wick is a smaller body with the same volume as previous candle, do you consider the candles are always higher in volume? Yes, so I do 100% take into consideration the first 15-minute candle. So I don't try to do any analysis against that first 15-minute candle because it's so difficult to trade. It's always momentum, it's always high volume, it's always crazy, no matter what. So I can't really do that. Still waiting, baby. Still waiting. Another top tick here. This could be an opportunity right here. We have a top tick into support. If this fails, you'll have the first actionable downside position of the day. Right here. Where would you short at 3308? Talking about gold? Gold's coming into resistance now, so I mean, still the 3 criteria here. So, CL's making a high with 67.33. With that top wick, if gold's able to claim, then we're going to go even higher into 33.29, which watching gold go up alongside ES and NASDAQ, that could be an indication that we're going to have a little top tick here. So what can we do? What can we do? Thinking about shorting makes me want to puke, but which is why it might be the time. Yeah. Well, this is how they do things, man. They launch it in the first 15 minutes, and then they pin it flat. And I sit here literally, and it's like, oh, why don't you take a trade when market's up 120 points? Because they did it all in 15 minutes, which I don't trade. And now I have to sit here and watch the chop. It's just, that's part of it, man. That's why I hate these days, because that's exactly what happens every time. I don't trade the first 15 minutes. Nice little top tick still holding. We have liquidity 63.05 on ES. We have NASDAQ is 23.06 and down to 0.12. We have a top wick on the 5. On the 15, it's coming down here too, so we may have an actionable position here. We do have volume on the 5-minute for NASDAQ. We do have supply volume on the 5-minute. Not on the 15, but on the 5. It's not a lot. They're putting on a little liquidity down to 23. Right here, 23, still filling a little bit lower. There you go. So we have a move below. Now your decision right here. Your decision is either go ahead and get in, anticipate a breakdown, or wait for the closure, give up a little potential profit for the sellers to close below the prior low. Is that the decision you need to make right now? Because we have everything kind of pointing a little bit lower here. Not much, but a little. The issue is, the problem is that any influx of volume, and boom, you're right back up to the top of the range in one or two candles. That's just the way this market's been. I'm long RTY off an FVG. Interesting. Still coming off right below the low. Would you avoid having positions around FOMC meetings? I would avoid that, although today's just FOMC minutes, so it's not that big of an issue. But around FOMC meetings, 100%. I would not hold a position into those events. I don't even think some prop firms will let you hold a position into those events. I think TPT might be on pause or something today, like nothing is updating. Like they're not approving my payout this morning. They're not responding to the emails. It's like they're all at lunch or something. Oh, man. RTY off VWAP and 200. Oh. Those are bad words here, Doc Holiday. Bad words. RTY 2252. The Dow's still holding in a support. Keep an eye on the small caps too. If the small caps start dumping, if emerging markets start dumping, then we might have a little top tick come along with NASDAQ and ES. Oil's not moving at all. Tesla's still down at the bottom. See? Still don't have a close below on the 15. Right here. Four minutes, I have to switch over to Bookmap. No VWAP or EMA. I'm just kidding. You can mention it. It's fine. But expect to get some crap. Any thoughts on PL? Yeah, so I've been watching PL. It's still stuck in my ranges here for macro range. I'm not scalping it, but I'm playing it macro. This is the major resistance. This red block is the support to breach in order to short. And we're just kind of pinned there. It's like they know what I'm doing. And they're like, all right, we're just going to stick it right here until you go crazy. Top tick, NASDAQ. There it is. 3 criteria. 3 minutes. The 30-second share between streams will be the move. Yeah, probably. And it's Wednesday. 6-3, still going. Still going. Boom, look at that. Instant on down once it clears it. What's RTY doing? ES 6303 coming off. 63046 still going. 0.4 still going. Look at this. Look at this. The 3 criteria, baby. 0.45 still going. 6,300. NASDAQ just dumped a Roni right under that support. Right there. So right there. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Now what can it do? All right, so what's the next question? The YM and RTY were leaders, 100%. Yesterday they were leaders. The day before that they were leaders. Today they're leaders. When the small caps begin to dump, you can look for a move in the other markets to kind of catch up. Catch up's a wrong word because they're not necessarily following those. But sentiment. You'll see the overall overarching market sentiment. Nice trippy, Mike. How would you play a future trade? I know with options you trail the SL. Same thing. I mean, I trail the SL on both of them. In fact, it's more difficult on options than futures because on options, it's hard to figure out where the market will, or the price will be of the options contract given the market because of theta and all the other parameters. All the way down, baby, 63.02. So now you've got the morning range set too. So we have a beautiful morning range to play off of now. And guess what I'm going to do if this thing drops to 960? Guess what I'm going to do? Play the bounce. All rule-driven decisions. Everything is a rule-driven decision here. That's it. All right, I have to switch over to Bookmap. I'll post the links when I am active. Give me about a minute.